What's good, everybody? It's your boy Ben, and I'm back with another video. And I want to jump on here real quick, man, and just kind of like ask this question, man. Do some of y'all guys feel like YouTube is on easy mode, man? And I can definitely say I jumped in on that whole thing on YouTube is on easy mode. And what I've slowly started to realize that YouTube, it was on easy mode to an extent. Let me explain. So, there's a lot of content creators that kind of jumped in on the YouTube is easy mode train or fad or whatever. But what I've come to realize that it's not on easy mode, but I think it gave people a little bit of a fair chance, right? And it pretty much allowed like content creators who actually had smaller channels to get pushed to the forefront, and their videos were being showed amongst a lot of giants, right? And pretty much it's little caveats, little things that you must do to kind of get your content pushed too. Making a video is one thing, but it was like various different things such as like search optimization and just like where you just really put like your hashtags about what I mean by that is in your description. Sometimes in the beginning of my whole YouTube journey, I didn't really put too much in the description. I put like YouTube is on easy mode in as a title, and just let it go free and hope that my video will get some views. In a few of my earlier videos they did, but not in the way I was hoping that it probably would, if that makes sense. But in the grand scheme of things, just talking to various different like legit like real content creators here in my city. Like I'm at my regular 9 to 5, and I'm seeing like actual content creators, like a few like notable ones from the city of Detroit. It's a fella, he does a lot of renovations and properties and whatever, and he gave me a couple tips. And then I got my co-worker, he actually gave me a couple tips. He have a gaming channel, and he pretty much gave me a little bit of insight on where to put your hashtags, and when you go closer to like your tags, lower, like where you add all your tags is where you and what type of details and what type of hashtags that you put inside that area, and that actually increased a lot of my views. So to go back to the question that I kind of posed earlier in the video, is YouTube on easy mode? I don't want to ruin nobody's outlook on potentially getting on YouTube, and I don't want to discourage nobody, but it's gonna take some work, man. It's gonna take some work. It takes a lot of trial and error. It's gonna take a lot of just trying to figure out where you kind of fit in this space, right? Because nobody really knows. Everybody say niche down, and do a particular thing on your channel that makes you like known for. I don't know if it's like if you're doing like you know, exposés, or if you're doing beats, or if you are a music artist, or if you are a painter or a writer, or you know, storyteller, you know what I'm saying? That'll be like your whole realm, you know, so to speak, your what you're known for on your channel, right? But I don't want to necessarily discourage nobody on getting on YouTube, just for the simple fact that, you know, a lot of people have been playing with the notion on actually getting on YouTube and creating content and hopefully getting monetized. But I'll definitely say, I'm gonna be honest, man. It's a long road, and you know, you got to be consistent. You know, you got to have content that's like watchable. You know, that's worthy of somebody watching. That's worthy of somebody clicking on your video and spending that time. You know, and listening at your content and give whatever message you're trying to relay. Right? Um, it's you know, it's just so many different things. You know, that you just have to gotta try, you know, to kind of fill out where you kind of fit in this whole YouTube space. And you know, you may not get it right then and there, but you know, you eventually get it. It'll make sense. Something gonna stick. And it's just you just trying and just showing up and just, you know, doing for your audience, right? And you know, it's gonna take some time. You know, now, from my understanding, once you get monetized, man, it's gonna be, you know, you gotta pretty much be firing on all cylinders and just kind of get on out here and get on YouTube and start making that content so people, you know, can, you know, watch your videos so you can get paid. And I think right now, I'm definitely do more, and just because I kind of talk in a way where, you know, I gotta really paint a picture. I gotta really kind of drive a lot of things home. I gotta really make sure I'm getting my point across, right? And I think potentially even like going into like B-rolls and just kind of like exploring those options where, you know, I can have my videos kind of talk for me, you know, because sometimes seeing is believing, and it kind of would drive your whole point home when you uh, talking about a particular subject or a subject matter, right? And right now, I want to take the time. I want to ask, if you got this far in this video, man, what's your thoughts on my content so far? Leave a comment below. Right now, I just been on, it's been kind of like an expose, and really been kind of exposing various different like things that's been going on in your neighborhood, your backyard, your front door, and in your community with a lot of jobs. The reason why I just call them, I call it poverty jobs. The reason why I call them poverty jobs because, like, once again, if you see my video, you know that I'm talking about just jobs that's like at where you go into it thinking that you're about to make a lot of money, but in all actuality, you're not going to make a lot of money. You could potentially lose out on money, lose out on time, and just, you know, you just lose. You know, you're not winning. You're not getting ahead. You potentially just might spending more to make less, or just don't come out on top. So that's why I call it like a poverty job. And I've been kind of like just talking about these various different jobs, and I, you know, in a sense, it sounds crazy. It felt like it was kind of like trauma. You know, it felt like kind of trauma with this job because, you know, you pretty much don't want somebody to kind of go through that whole pitfall that you went through. You know what I'm saying? You don't want somebody to experience. You just want to definitely, in this aspect of it, deter somebody from like working these jobs, you know, You know, and if it makes sense to, sometimes working them type of jobs makes sense to some people, but then if you young, you 21, and you know, you just trying to, you know, find yourself, and you know, these type of jobs can potentially just kind of spiral into something totally different, and the type of people that work them is just, it's just a mess. But I don't want to get off topic, but that's like my whole thing. I noticed that this channel, it may be a number of different things. I've been kind of really talking about, like just educating people about just various different jobs and scams, you know, and that's what I kind of feel like my little space is on this particular channel. I definitely been kind of playing with the notion about um, doing another channel with just more tech stuff, and I think that'll probably give me a little more traction on everything, but you know, we'll see. But driving everything home, I think right now, I think YouTube is in a different type of space. I think a lot of those content creators that came out talking about YouTube is on easy mode. I mean, it very well could be on easy mode for them because they maybe had a little more time invested on it. I mean in it rather. Um, you know, you had Dante London. He been on YouTube for like, you know, 5 years or more. You had Dodash. You know, been on YouTube. You know, I think she had another channel doing makeup, and then she had the Dodash channel doing gig work. And you know, people became invested in them, and that's just what it is. You know, you got to get people invested into you, and you know, on your invested in your content and invested in your story for things to be on easy mode. But I say the initial start, it's not gonna be easy. It really isn't, and I don't wanna discourage anybody from not getting on YouTube. I definitely say you got a story to tell, get on YouTube. You know, make your voice be heard on whatever you got to say. You know, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying, or negative. Shoot, people like negativity, surprisingly enough. But you know, I really appreciate y'all tuning into this video. It's just kind of a late video. It's getting dark out here, and yeah, just tell me what y'all think. You know, what's y'all thoughts? Are you a content creator? Did you jump in on that YouTube is easy mode vibe, that whole wave? Or what's your whole thoughts on YouTube being on easy mode? So, but other than that, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.